Most novel planning templates give you an outline page with bullet points and call it done. That leaves you with a structure that has no idea which scenes belong to which beat, character notes that live nowhere near the scenes those characters are in, and no way to see you're missing a scene until you're halfway through drafting. This is the hub built to fix that, with plot, characters, chapters, and world all actually connected instead of scattered across 5 documents, apps, or notes in your phone. It opens with pick your path, which is 3 starting points depending on how you actually write. Plotters start with a full beat sheet, planters lighter with just act breaks, and free writers skip straight to logging what they've already written and reverse outline from there. The project dashboard is the one row everything else references: genre, target word count against your current count, and status, plus quick links to every other section. Outline and structure gives you 3 built-in frameworks to duplicate and fill in, so you're not building a beat sheet from a blank page. You can also, if you just want to use the one that's already there, you can, but if you duplicate it, it also leaves the original one for later if you need to use it again. Your character database holds role, archetype, goal, wound, and arc, plus optional trait tags that you can manually add in yourself and they will save for later. And because it's linked, every character page shows a live list of every scene that they actually appear in, which is super helpful once you're actually writing. Chapters and scenes is the spine everything else relates into, so it shows your status, summary, word count against target, and real relations to beats, characters, and locations that are going to be visited in those chapters and scenes. You have a subplot tracker here as well that keeps every subplot status visible, so if it's a subplot that you haven't really touched on in a couple chapters, you'll see that here, and you'll be able to plan that into your outline. So your subplots don't get lost until you're doing revision and then all of a sudden you remember an entire subplot. It's kind of already there for you, so it's very hard to lose it. The pacing checker sorts your scenes by conflict intensity, which you're going to log in your chapter and scene. So when you look at the pacing checker, it's going to show your story peaks and valleys before you get to beta readers and you have a beta reader tell you that your story kind of sags in the middle. You're already going to kind of see the conflict intensity as your chapters move, which is really cool. Your chapter 1 checklist here is something that you manually can look through as you're writing your opening chapter, and these are things that are going to be mandatory in your chapter if you don't want to have a boring one and you want to have a hook, an inciting incident, and the tone and setting all set for your book in chapter 1. This checklist is going to help you make sure you have that. World Building Hub holds what's relevant to this specific book, key locations, cultures, and factions that your characters actually interact with. This is pretty much a brainstorm page. This is a building page that you're probably going to want to visit before you start writing. It includes your research and inspiration, which is a mood board that you can make. You can add to it. You can get rid of this if you don't like, a playlist to reference links for your writing, and a brainstorm space as well. Your writing plan covers your deadline and word count goals. This is a manual table, so you will enter all this yourself. A progress tracker, and a revisions passes checklist. So this is what you come to after you've written, and it's going to give you a checklist for what to do in each stage of editing. So what you do in developmental, what you do in line, and proof. You have a series database that if you're writing a series, this is going to help you link all your books together from your characters and your world building. So whatever is shared between your books in a series from those databases, you would link them here. If you want a more in-depth video on how to use the series database and how also to use this template, if you're writing a series, please comment below and we will get to that. Back at our dashboard, the reason that this works as a hub and not just as a folder of pages is that there are relations and roll-ups that connect all of these databases. So when you open up a scene in your chapter database, you're going to see its beat that connects to your outline, its POV character that connects to your character database, its location that connects to your location database. Everything builds on itself. The pacing checker is going to really help when you're outlining and also when you are revising. So you're going to see the intensity of each chapter and make sure that you don't have any fall points, as we mentioned earlier. So your relations and connections is what's going to help certain fields in different databases populate automatically. So it really takes away a lot of the hunting and searching work that you do as a writer if you have everything loaded into this template. That is pretty much the entire walkthrough of the novel planning outline. If you have any questions about what you see, please leave them in the comments and we will get to those as soon as possible. And we will link this outline, this template in the comments below.